welcome back to the final theory of Jew lore. It has been quite a journey. Now, if you've been watching us for the past few weeks, you've hopefully been following along with our playthrough of LEGO Dimensions. Now, the finale of our series is coming out in a few days, and before we get to the end of the game, I want to talk about the lore of this game. So here's a theory for you. The events of LEGO Dimensions cause significant multiversal repercussions, and I'm going to explain them to you. Now, since our playthrough might not be the most ideal way to experience the story,
Audience, is this peak? Are we having fun yet?
Are you having fun? Are you not entertained?
I'll do you a favor and recap it for you. It follows Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle, or if you're us, Cynthia, Wonder Woman in Wildstyle, as they race against the evil Lord Vortek to gather a group of MacGuffins called Foundation Elements, which he plans to use to... Well, the game is pretty vague about his motivation, but it basically boils down to warping reality to make one quote-unquote perfect dimension. So now that we're all caught up, I want to go dimension by dimension to find out how each one of these worlds are affected by the events of the game, starting with The Wizard of Oz. Now, almost immediately we see Dorothy and her friends get captured by Lord Vortek, where he takes the ruby slippers from Dorothy. So Dorothy just doesn't make it home, right? Well, this begs the question, what happens to the Foundation Elements at the end of the game? We see them form together to become the Foundation of all dimensions, but we also hear Vortek say, so, does that mean they come back? Unfortunately, the game doesn't make it clear whether they come back, or if they do, where they return to. So Dorothy may or may not be trapped in Oz, but at least the witch is still dead, so that may or may not affect whether Dorothy would get to meet the wizard, so jury's still out of this. On to the next one. Next up is The Simpsons, which due to the episodic nature of The Simpsons, it seems like there were no long-standing repercussions, just an interdimensional robot invasion that lasted about 45 minutes, and all they took was a rod of uranium. Wait, what? What do you mean, carbon rod? How is this carbon? It's clearly radioactive. What do you mean it's not uranium? Okay, so not much of this. Next up is Ninjago, and by extension, Chima. While the game considers them to be separate dimensions, Ninjago retcons Chima into being one of the 16 realms connected to Ninjago. Not to mention, Chima does not have a foundation of its own. So when we see Ninjago, the heroes interrupt Master Chen's tournament of elements. Based on the way the season plays out, the early eliminations of some of the contestants wouldn't change anything in the long run. Though I would like to point out that Wu in this one cutscene would be absolutely good to be here, and we can rescue Pixel in this level when she should be dismantled. So, now when it comes to the foundation element, it's the steps that Chen uses to absorb elemental powers. Now, either Chen gets it back at the end of the game, and the rest of the season plays out the same, or he doesn't get it and is probably defeated immediately. Though, if his defeat goes down differently, the rest of the show will probably turn out drastically different. But then we have Jurassic Park, which, while not having a story level, is connected to LEGO Dimensions through LEGO Jurassic World's post-credit scene, where the scale keystone is found, which we later see in the Daleks' possession. So, it's likely that the Daleks invaded Jurassic Park to take the keystone. Makes you want to know if the T-Rex got a chance to fight some Daleks. Who do you think would win? Maybe leave a comment down below. Next up, we've got DC, where the foundation element is kryptonite, which I guess means that the elements don't have to be one unique item. Now, this is DC after all, and this world faces world-ending threats constantly, so this is really just another Wednesday for them. Though the DC open world reveals that Vortek's interference caused Gotham and Metropolis to kind of fuse together into one city. So after DC, we have Back to the Future, and most of this level takes place before Marty arrives in 1885 in Back to the Future Part 3, and while I would say that Marty probably gets stranded in the past, since Vortek takes the flux capacitor, but at the end of Back to the Future Part 3, we see Doc Brown with the time-traveling train.
Oh, stop hitting the train! Train!
Oh.
I should
Train, murder everyone.
I swear if you shoot me out of the sky, I'm going...
Yeah, that train. Okay, so maybe there aren't any major ramifications with Back to the Future either. Next, we have Portal. And while I watched a 2-hour video on Half-Life and Portal lore for this, all I can conclude is that the events we see in the Portal dimension likely happen before Chell wakes up in Portal 2. So it also doesn't affect anything. Next up, we have Lord of the Rings. but I'll let Arcade take this one.
Lord Dump, what's the implication of that scene?
They're dead, and probably the world is destroyed.
According to him, the Fellowship should all be dead. Great. But I do have to point out, the main trio shows up here looking for the foundation element, that being the Palantir. But wait, wasn't the One Ring the foundation element? Does Lord of the Rings have two? Explain this to me, game. It's been 10 years. I need answers. Anyways, moving on, we have the Ghostbusters world. This level takes place during the chaos of the third act of Ghostbusters, and while I don't remember the scene in the movie where the Ghostbusters fight General Zod, this dimension also remains mostly unaffected. Next, we have Midway Arcade, which is described by Expo as a trans-reality pocket dimension. Or in other words, inside a video game. Crazy. But by its nature, it can hardly be affected by what happens in the game. Then there's Scooby-Doo. And other than the possibly guilty funfair owner going free, at least if Batman is to be believed, I couldn't find any multiversal ramifications of these meddling kids. You know, I was going into this thinking that I was going to find out that every timeline would be drastically changed by the events of this game. But no, barely anything would change, as far as I can tell. And with the Doctor's help, they probably just set all the minor things straight. Well, I guess there's one world left. The Lego Movie. Now, we don't get to see much of the Lego Movie world, but what we do see of it is pretty normal, all things considered. So what, is this theory just a bust? Well, I don't know, guess we just go home now. Or to another video, hopefully. One of ours, maybe. Maybe it's better to just rewatch our playthrough of this game instead of wasting our time here.
And this is also not center all of a sudden?
Wait a minute. How could I forget about this part? Unikitty mentions Lego by name. This detail is something I can't overlook. She knows what Lego is. But what could it mean? Well, one line of thinking is that the master builders all know what Lego bricks are. We see at the end of the Lego Movie that Emmett can literally see the part numbers once he becomes a master builder. But how did he do this? By traveling to the real world. Okay, stick with me here. Master builders have a stronger connection to reality, probably because the kid playing with them considers them important characters or something. The world of the Lego Movie is functionally a pocket dimension driven by the force of this kid's creativity. But what does that have to do with Lego Dimensions? Well, let me rewind to the foundation elements. Now, they seem pretty arbitrary. I mean, for the Lego Movie, it's Metalbeard's treasure, so how important could they be? Well, here's the real theory for you. There is a reason the foundation elements are so integral to the stability of the multiverse, and once you find out why, it will shatter your perspective of reality entirely. So, let's go through them one at a time to figure this out. First, the Ruby Slippers, the most expensive movie prop in history and the catalyst for Dorothy's adventure through Oz. A uranium rod from Homer Simpson's place of work. What do you mean carbon? In what world is this carbon? This is clearly radioactive. This carbon rod steals the spotlight of our main character Homer at his job. So sure, that qualifies it to be connected to the fabric of reality. Then Chen's staff from Ninjago. Based on information in Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2, it's likely that this staff could be made from Arc Dragon crowns. Arc Dragons being the highest class of dragons that aren't literally considered to be gods, so that one checks out as being pretty important. Then Kryptonite from DC, a mineral tied to the fate of Superman, DC Comics, and the world's first superhero. So integral to DC that it transcended DC and became synonymous with the word weakness. The Flux Capacitor, the catalyst for Marty and Doc's time travel adventures. The cake from Portal 2, which this one may seem odd, but if you've ever heard the famous phrase, the cake is a lie, you'll know that this cake has entered the wider consciousness, beyond just the world of Portal and its fans. Now again, Lord of the Rings has two. I'm going to go out on a limb and claim that one represents Lord of the Rings, and the other represents The Hobbit. Both trilogies have their own significance within the franchise, so it could make sense. Then the PKE meter from Ghostbusters, the very device that gives our main characters a way to detect the ghosts that their franchise is famous for. The token from Midway Arcade, this literally brings life to that arcade world, and beyond that, bridges the gap between player and game, the gap between reality and the trans-dimensional pocket reality. Next up is Scooby-Doo's Diamond Scarab. Now, this one might seem really random, and it probably is. After all, there's hardly anything special about the episode that inspired the story level that the Scarab is featured in. But I did some research on Scarabs and found out that they symbolize things like rebirth, creation, and transformation. An artifact like that sounds exactly like something that would grant the power to reshape the multiverse. And lastly, Metalbeard's treasure chest. This one... Okay, stick with me here. This one seems insane, right? It's just a chest full of treasure. Why would that be a foundation element? Why not the piece of resistance? That would make sense with the pattern of how most of them have some sort of meta context around them. But the only ones that don't are the Scarab, which, like I said, represents creation, and Chen's staff, which is made from Arc Dragon crowns, which means it literally has reality-altering properties. So what is it about this stupid treasure chest? Well, look who it belongs to. Metalbeard, a master builder that was completely rebuilt by the kid who was playing with him. When he was once just a regular pirate minifigure, now he is this mecha pirate completely warped by the creativity of this child. A child in the real world. So that's why this chest is imbued with pure creative force. It is connected to reality itself. Does that mean we did it? Did I do it? Did I solve the multiverse? The fabric of reality is held together by these artifacts. But wait, the Lego Movie, and by extension Lego Dimensions and its multiversal crisis, are just one plane of existence, one sparkly cardboard tube away from our world, the real world. Does that mean Lego is real? Can Lego Batman come meet me like Joe McHale in that one ad? Is it all Lego? Is Chris Pratt really just Lego? Is Pharrell Williams really just Lego? Is this camera Lego? Am I Lego? Oh, I made it back here. I guess the camera is still going. Thank you for watching the video. Julor should be almost over now. Stay tuned for the MCU timeline. Happy Julor.